That's Mickey. She's Candace. I'm Gerard. And today on Canceled Weekly, we're talking Robert Kennedy before the vocal fry. We're getting down with Ice Cube. We've got bonobos. We've got Tai Chi. We've got crazy girlfriends. But first, we've got Tucker Carlson talking about Ice Cube.
Think that we overplay the role of racial conflict in American life?
Yes. A lot of people make a lot of money off of the racists fighting against each other and bickering. They the ones who push it in our face all the time that we're separate. It's like you're stuck in a bad movie and you can't get out. A never-ending, winless battle of race and color, and we're worried about, where you from, and it's not about race. It's not about color and gender and this and that. It's about who do you connect with? Who do you vibrate with? You know what I mean? Who's on the same wavelength?
Tell him, Cube.
I think every reasonable person agrees.
Cube.
Every reasonable person agrees. Candace, who do you think benefits from this constant division?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Cui bono, baby.
I don't think anyone's asking that either, right? We just get so lost in the mess of othering other people. I would look at all of these authors. I can't even think of the names, but like Ibram Kennedy.
Ibram
Who's
Kendi
that?
X.
What do they do?
Ibram X Kendi.
So what they do is they get paid boatloads of money to show up to your corporation because they are going to rid you and your corporation and your employees of racism, of misogyny, of whatever. So for the small fee of like $50,000, I'll come and do that. And then they'll sell their books and they'll go on a book tour. And there's never enough. So there's
Robin
always...
DiAngelo, to your point.
There you go.
Robin DiAngelo is the queen of the grift. Ida Bae Wells of the 1619 Project, New York Times, another queen grifter. Ibram X Kendi, who says the only way to fix racism in the past is to be racist in the present. Counter-racism is his deal, and he writes children's books. There's
anti-racist baby.
Anti-racist
Are you kidding
baby.
me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an entire.
Do corporations need this, or they need to get sent to like the KKK people, or the like Black Power people, or the people who are actually being racist?
Well, the crazy part is
Put them all in a room together and let it sort out.
Go talk to them. I mean, it's not normal people.
Well, there is a guy.
The guy that he's a co-founder of Minds. What's his name?
The black dude, very interesting guy.
I refuse to admit that the average American is racist.
In 2023?
Is unaware. Yeah, and the average. I'm talking about in big populations, big groups. There's no way. You have to be a freaking idiot to think that just because of someone's skin color it makes them different.
Yeah.
It's like the painting of a house. Blue house, green house, purple house. They're all houses.
Yeah.
No one has to look this way. You don't pick your skin color. You don't pick. We're all different.
Well, the thing is that they keep going back to skin color too, and it's like, well, okay, man. Like, I want to feel bad for you. I want to have empathy for you, but then how do you explain the massive success Indian and Pakistani and sub-Indian cultural descendants are having in America? They're massively successful. They're per capita way more successful than white people. So if the color, the actual color argument doesn't really work. You know what I'm saying?
Look, David Adib said it best. We're all different, and that's what makes us all the same. We all have different good qualities, bad qualities, whatever. But we're all just fucking people.
Dude, the thing is like everybody I meet everywhere I go feels this way. It's like you said. But who is pushing this narrative? The ESG.
Media.
It's
media?
more than media. Media is definitely like the tip of the spear.
I think it's the two people in the towers where they're like, and then down there are the pitchfork people and the torch people, and they're like, hey, as long as we keep the torch people and the pitchfork people arguing with each other, they're not gonna be worried about us. We're gonna be safe up in our tower.
Yeah,
that's the elites, and that's the media propagandizing that.
About a month back on Slick and Thick, we had Dan Holloway from the Drinking Bros podcast on, and he said that some of this is intentional disinformation being pumped in, propaganda being pumped in. He said this is what Russia actually does well. So some of this stuff could be being funded from our enemies just trying to sow discord. Some of this stuff could be, a Cold War attack, really. If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. So you think it's coming from the enemies? You think they're like paying our news stations to talk about this stuff? For sure. I do. I really believe that. I think, especially on the college campuses, where does a lot of this stuff comes from?
From China.
China, yeah, like the School of Confucius.
School of Confucius is pumping a ton of money in to get certain curriculums pushed, and part of the curriculums is critical race theory and queer, what they call queer theory,
to divide us, sow discord.
Specifically, too. Yeah. Yeah, and if people don't know, look, you want to kind of understand, like
no, those people need to stop accepting money from these nefarious places.
Follow the money, baby.
Easier said than done, but
Ice Cube said something very interesting there. It's the never ending. It's the never ending war. Yeah, because it makes them so much money. It makes them so much money. We've had a war on drugs, a war on poverty, a war on racism my whole life. Either these guys are really bad at winning these wars, or they don't want to.
They don't want to win.
They don't want to win. They're making so much money off of it. If you want to educate yourself on what's going on, you can check out anything on critical theory is going to really open your mind on this. James Lindsay and Peter Bogdassian do a great job as far as this is concerned. They have a website called New Discourses.
Yeah.
New Discourses is fantastic to get a really, although it's a little bit of a hard read. They use, as Mickey likes to say, a lot of $10 words. But it really does. They're the front lines of where this ideology is kind of sprouting from, and like what the actual tactics being used are. And then if you want to see what's happening to you, you want to see the playbook for what's happening to you, Mickey and I just read Rules for Radicals. And Rules for Radicals will one by one, the steps that
you see the playbook.
The steps that they do, it'll blow your mind, and you'll be like, holy shit, this is actually happening.
Speaking of $10 words, what are those type of like sayings they do in like the show Succession?
Like buzzwords.
Not
catchphrase, like buzzwords.
But it's almost like
corporate speak.
Like, we need to land the plane to a more something climate, and like different.
They drive me out of my mind.
What are those called?
Oh man, to me,
you know what we're talking about, Candace?
Yeah. They're
Give me an example.
They're corporate
examples.
buzz phrases. Yeah. They're like, hey, look, guys, team, we're trying really hard here, and I understand we're trying to put the plane together while we're flying it, but it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna make an end run and trying to get to, Josh to put a pin in this thing, and then we're gonna
corporate jargon.
Yes, corporate jargon.
Yeah. Anybody who talks like that.
We have this little toy. It's like kind of like a walkie-talkie, and it has 6 different buttons on it, and each button is some kind of corporate phrase. And my baby will just sit there and play it, and he loves it so much. One was like, let me circle back on that, or let's put a pin in that.
We have a lot to unpack here.
Yes, that's one of them.
As soon as I hear
we need to be disruptive. That's his favorite. And I was like, I just feel like my mom's in the room every time he has that button, because she's so guilty of all of that.
It's so funny. Something I love about it though. Like I can listen to them all
so
day.
Corny.
It's like, exactly. It's corny. It's like they think they're being smart, but really they sound like they don't know what they sound like. It's a lack of self-awareness.
No, I think they do know what they sound like, and they just try to one up each other.
They think
on
it's
that.
cool.
Oh, they love it. They love it. It's like a hierarchy on who can fit the most.
We don't.
Yeah. And this is why I've never lasted in corporate America, because as they go around the table trying to one up each other on corporate speak, I'm just like, I don't know, let's just get the fucking job done. Like, does everybody? Why are we even having this meeting? This meeting's about another meeting.
But then you just threw a microaggression out there, and now you have to go to HR.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just very verbose for like just the point of like hearing each other talk.
It is. Not very intelligent people trying to convince other people they're intelligent by trying to mimic what they feel like is the behavior of intelligent people.
Yeah.
They've memorized.
Yes, that I think you just. Yeah, you put your
They've
finger
memorized a couple of buzz phrases. They do this in politics all the time too. They memorize somebody that they admire, and somebody that they admire has stolen phrases from somebody that they admired, who stole phrases from Tony Robbins. And now this thing gets watered down in this game of corporate telephone until like everybody's making an end run and, is going to be the superstar of a team, not and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, okay, I'm done. I think everybody sees this. My hope and prayer is that 2024, we don't let them win with this tactic. Everybody knows this tactic is happening, but I think the good thing is Jocko Willink has got me thinking good. The good thing is I think it's played out, and what happens when it's played out is a tactic that becomes a drag is a drag.
Yes, they did COVID to you.
Good.
Now you see what it was.
You seen it.
Now you know.
And what
Don't
happens,
let it happen again.
What happens
Learn
in Rules
from
for
your
Radicals?
mistakes.
What happens in Rules for Radicals? A tactic that drags is a drag.
It's a drag.
So this is dragging. Move on to another tactic. Separate us differently by the color of our nipples this time. So at least we can walk around topless to be angry with each other.
Free the nipple.
Yeah. Speaking of freedom.
And moving on.
One of the great freedom fighters of our time, Robert F. Kennedy. A clip of him has surfaced. And damn it, tell me if this is not a presidential voice.
Wait, we really get to hear Sweet Voice RFK
Sweet
here?
Voice RFK?
Well, there's like this weird, if you want to get mystical, it's his voice. So no one has an official diagnosis for it. It's like they kind of slap a label on it, and we don't know what to do with it. It just kind of is. There's no solution. It happened, I believe, really shortly after the death of his father and his uncle. So you have to, I guess to back up a little bit.
They said it was a stress-related event, right?
So you're saying he's
Right.
not part frog?
No, he's not part frog. I think,
Got
so
it.
when you,
good
there's
to
this
know.
kind of like,
Putting water in to make the
clear
Kennedy's
that up.
gay.
Yeah.
I got it.
There's
Putting
this-
something in the water.
anyways, so there's this man, he owns this institute called the Biocybernaut Institute. It's neurofeedback training. And he says that he has done some crazy stuff, like people have been able to see again that were blind. People have been able to hear that were deaf. And when you have something like that it's kind of mysterious without a diagnosis, the question would be what don't they want you to say? And it gets into like good and evil. And if there's like this collective and like, if you talk about dark energy,
Did they silence him because he
is he
wasn't
being
towing the line?
silenced? And then you get him getting all censored, and it gets really mystical and weird and woo-woo, but you have to
Well,
ask.
the Kennedys are not above that, just as Rose Kennedy, the poor
Yeah, they
poor
put a hole in
fucking
her
girl.
head.
Yeah, because she was promiscuous. And they turned her, that's a tragedy. That's an absolute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad.
So, we ready now?
Yes, sir.
Are you liberal on most issues, or are you conservative on some?
I wouldn't characterize myself with either of those labels.
Normal.
I'm kind of libertarian in some areas. I believe in free market economies. I believe if we had a true free market economy where we eliminated subsidies to people, we would not have the kind of environmental pollution problems that we have. I think I come from that perspective, which is not, but at the same time, I believe that we live in a diverse society, and I think diversity is wonderful in every way. And so I guess that's kind of a liberal point of view.
Perfectly okay with that man being president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfectly okay with it.
Yeah, especially with that voice.
And the Democrats aren't even going to give him a chance to be heard.
So what happens if we're not having a debate? What happens? Because they cannot run Biden again. There's no way. Because then they risk him dying, not making it through.
Right.
And then we have, Kamala? No one wants that. She has the lowest approval ratings in history.
Did you know that Biden has spent the most days on vacation of any president in their first term ever?
No, of course I wouldn't know about that, because who would talk about that?
That's true. The media doesn't. That's very true. But it's, I believe, 40%, 40% of his time.
I think he needs more. I think we need to.
Well,
those
what
are
I'm
rookie
saying,
numbers. You need to jack that up.
for sure. I think the point is that Biden's not running the show.
Well, I know,
He's
but
not running
if
the
he
show. He's not-
croaks,
he's not
but if
running
he
the show.
croaks, though, then you have Kamala.
Who's
up
not
there.
running the show either.
I know,
Yeah,
but
it's just to be more of the same, probably.
They
I
just
would
need
assume.
Biden to get him through the finish line of He can die the day after the election. They just need him to get him through the election.
I don't think that they're going to want to put Kamala in that kind of space.
I also
though.
don't know if they'd want his decrepit old ass running again. Like I feel like
Right.
they're gonna lose votes for being like, yeah, do I vote for the senile guy, like the incredibly old guy, or anybody else?
I think it's cute. You guys think voting still matters?
I think it's cute. You called us cute.
You think Joe Biden got 80
disrespectful.
million votes? 80 million?
I
Yeah.
think that
No, I
a
don't.
lot of people hate Trump. So it wasn't that they support Biden or that they are a fanatic of him or even that they're a Democrat. I think that he was so much, his personality was so much
Sure.
that they're like anyone but that guy.
I agree. 80 million?
I don't know. I know the number of, the percentage of fraud is obviously not zero.
And they're
We
finding
know it's not zero.
more every day.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
No.
Yeah.
And
Also, with his voice, when I first heard him speak, he sounded like I thought he was emotional and about to cry the whole time. He's like, I was about to, you know what I mean?
What was he like?
I don't want to do it again. I'm embarrassed.
Kamala sounds like that
I thought
too.
it was going to come out different.
Kamala just sounds to me like she's been drinking all day. Everything Kamala says, I'm like, this chick is on a. She's on
We'll
a
edit
heater.
that part out, right?
Yeah, for sure. Don't edit that part out. The Kamala just like to me sounds like she just got done with a bottle of whiskey. She's like, so AI is 2 words:
It means
artificial intelligence,
okay.
and it's intelligently artificial.
Good job, sweetie.
Yeah, right.
Wow, bravo.
That's the second most powerful person in the world. That she is one misstep away from the nuclear arsenal. Fantastic. Good job, everybody.
Well, I guess my question is then, can you write in RFK? Like if that's someone that you support, you can
Absolutely.
still
You
vote
can write
for
in
him?
anyone, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It'll be tough to get 80 million write-in votes.
It will be hard to get
Yeah.
get that many write-ins.
Yep. Yeah, it's we're in a
Which
weird
is a stupid
place.
system, too.
We're in a weird place. I'd go back to the horses. I think we're better off with just put the horses on stage and let their big old heart vibrations figure it out. Oh man,
I'm with that.
Speaking
I
of
was actually
speaking of big old heart vibrations, what do you think about chi and being able to open up parts of your body through different hand and grip techniques?
Guys. Something
Grip
out
your
there.
thumb with your entire hand.
Let's do it.
Firmly but not tightly. Firmly enough that over a number of seconds you'll begin to feel a pulsation starting in your thumb and in your hand. If you don't feel a pulse, according to Jinshin Jitsu, it means you really need to do it to clear this meridian. The interesting thing is,
I thought you were going to say
as
it means
the
you're
pulse
dead.
develops, that too, as the pulse develops, guess what? Your anxiety will fade.
I feel
You'll
it now.
absolutely fade. And if you're sitting in a doctor's office, you're worrying about something, just do it. Nobody can tell.
Wow, yeah, I felt
feeling
it
it?
on the side, yeah.
Am I doing it wrong?
Can you squeeze a
Yeah,
little
you want
tighter?
to. I feel like you want to grab it and almost separate it a little bit, like gently, like you hold it firmly.
Pull
But
my finger.
so I could tell you this, within about when they say like it absolutely fades, I don't think that means you go to 0, but I can tell you within like 3 seconds of doing it, I go. And it's like I take like a nice breath, like a cathartic, like nice deep breath. I feel that 100%. What about you guys? What did you feel? You said you felt something on the
I
other
felt
side?
a pulse, yeah. I'm not
I didn't
anxious
feel
right now,
too
so I don't
much
have
of a
anything
pulse.
to get rid of. Yeah, I did feel a pulse.
A couple episodes back, we did a Huberman clip and talking about placebo effect with the milkshakes. I'm cynical as shit as far as this is concerned. I think this is a placebo effect. I think somebody
I don't.
tells you if you grab it, it's going to make you feel better. You grab it and you feel better.
Go like this and get really warm. Once you feel like
Rubbing our hands together for the audio listeners.
ASMR.
and once you feel like they're really warmed up, just start to separate them, and then see what you can play around with. If you like feel like a connection between them, and then how big and how
Almost like a magnetic kind
Right.
of pull.
Do I not have the thing that you guys have? Maybe I don't have chi.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm not a chi guy.
so.
Nah, your energy's all out of whack. Dude.
Yeah,
I
I'm
could
just
see
mostly
it.
ghee, not
I would
chi.
say try some. Have you ever done Tai Chi?
GHE, the butter.
I'm ghee. I'm clarified
rendered
butter.
butter, yeah.
I'm rendered butter, not
my
rendered energy. Yeah. I'm whipped. Yeah, I don't know. I was the same thing with the reflexology stuff with the feet, and they're like, if you push here, this is for gut health, and if you push here, it's for. I'm like,
Why? Because you don't know. You think you know better than them.
no, I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't sound reasonable to me. It doesn't itch my logic center of my brain that touching my foot would affect my gut health.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a scientist or an anatomist.
I'm not either.
Anatomist.
I'm not either. I don't. I do believe we're all energy, and obviously there's circulation system in your body.
Right, because your whole body has to be able to communicate with itself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done like acupuncture at all, or dry needling?
No, because when I did research on it, most of the research said it wasn't.
Oh my God. Well, so I've done it like several times, and it is insane. So if you get certain, it talks about meridians or certain.
I was gonna ask, what is a meridian?
It's like an energy center, essentially. So like you have your chi, and it just like if you think of everything kind of like a highway,
Okay.
So it's kind of like a map to your body.
It's like you're like getting rid of a traffic jam.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So if you're going for dry needling, which is kind of, in my opinion, a more intense version of acupuncture. So dry needling, the needle's a little bit bigger and they actually like work the needle while it's in you. And then that can kind of be a little bit uncomfortable. But if you get to a point that's stuck where let's say she's going to say, oh, your spleen is acting out or your liver needs help or whatever, the needle will actually it'll get stuck in you for a little bit until your body releases it. But if she's just going other places, it just pops out and you don't feel it. But certain energy centers will be stuck. And she's like, oh man, that needle did not want to come out.
Really?
And you feel it. It's like a release. You should try it for your back. Look at dry needling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I've done a little bit of that stuff before.
Oh, you have?
Acupuncture, yeah.
Yeah.
Done some dry humping.
Done some dry humping.
I've seen the damage. I've seen the needle.
They're gonna say you saw me do dry hump. It's like what?
A little part of it in everyone.
I seen him dry humping and I seen it twice.
Yeah, but I will say this though: there is just nothing on earth that feels better than a foot rub.
Dry hump.
Mm-hmm.
A foot. At this point in my life, if I was offered a foot rub or a blowjob,
Right. But that has nothing to do with maybe it makes other things feel good, right? That's just probably just your feet, right? You're right.
it does.
You're right. Rule it out.
It makes
You're
my
right.
feet feel good. Your feet are very. I'm not saying your feet aren't important. I'm just saying I don't think her rubbing my feet.
I roll my feet out
digestion.
is the first thing I do every single day. I have like a little spike ball, and I stand on like one of those spike yoga mats, and I roll my other foot out for like 5 minutes, and I roll my other foot out for 5 minutes.
Those things are amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
The prana mats?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
have
I'm
one of
standing
those.
on. Yeah.
5 minutes.
5 minutes each foot.
That's a long time.
Yeah, bro, I'm getting limber.
Do you
They
feel
say
like it's improved your digestion?
if you warm up, for sure. But also if you, right. What do you think I do after that 10 minutes? But when you loosen up your feet, it loosens up your whole body. Think everything starts to ground up. Right now I'm standing here. My feet are on the ground. You know what I mean? Loosen up your feet, loosens up your ass, loosens up your back, loosens up your shoulders, loosens up your neck, everything.
Yeah, your foot bone's connected to your knee bone for sure.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
The Eastern stuff is interesting to me. You know, a lot of the stuff I think is very, very wise and knowledgeable when you consider, Eastern methodologies and in the West we would consider alternative medicines, or what's the other word that they use? Holistic. Yeah. But some of the stuff I do, wonder about too, though. Like, opening up your chakras, and that. Now we get into a little mumbo jumbo for my.
I think there's something to it all.
I do too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
overruled, Gerard.
Maybe I'll start yanking on my thumb, and then we'll see. Maybe the
pulling on that
optimist in me
shit.
will come out.
Pull on that thumb instead of pulling on your pud. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? Give it a
Yeah,
couple
that's
times,
right. Every time you want to pull
You're
on your
looking for a
pud,
quick
pull on your thumb.
relaxation?
That's right.
You know what I
Do
mean?
20
There you go.
push-ups and hold until you feel a pulse. So speaking of holding until you feel a pulse, this relationship is holding on for dear life. Let's look at this poor bastard.
What a segue.
Don't look at girls, okay? Like I told you.
Okay. I'm just not understanding what's going on, and I'm trying to fill in the boredness, but if I even turn my head, she doesn't like it. And that's up.
Just look at me when you're not looking to the face.
Here we are again with Mary getting insecure and jealous, even though we talked a lot about how that won't happen anymore. To be physically controlled, like where I can look, who I can speak to, I don't think anyone should have to live like that. I just feel like I can't win.
Don't look at girls.
I know. It can't be like this forever.
Behave.
She is so right. She is so right.
Yeah?
She's so on point. She's keeping him in line. You know what? It's disrespectful.
She's
she
the
can
top
look at
G.
the priest or look at her. If he wants to be with her, he better follow these rules.
That's right.
All right?
That's right. Otherwise, no foot rubs.
Don't be looking around. What you looking at them for?
What are you looking at them for?
What's her name? Mary?
Mary.
Fuck yeah, Mary.
Mary.
You got that hoe on a leash.
Mary's pimp hand strong.
Mary Pimp and strong.
Candace, does that look like the hallmark of a healthy relationship to you?
No, that is so abusive.
What?
And if the roles were reversed, that's what everyone would be saying, is that is so abusive. What the hell is wrong with that? Both of them. Is this a reality show?
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
guessing.
so.
Yep.
That was the
Oh
first time I saw
my
that clip, but I
gosh.
think that's
Mary, a.k.a. a pimp named
She's
Slipback.
just constantly there, just like, don't look at girls. Don't look at girls. Look
Like,
at the priest.
what is
look at
that?
me. Look at the priest. Look at me. Look
Yeah.
at me. Where are you looking? What are you
I
doing?
got to tell you, the word behave hits my ear the way the word moist hits other people's ear.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the way relax hits an upset woman.
oh, there you go. Yeah, you need to calm down. I hear the word behave, and I'm just like,
Like Kill Bill music.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm like, well, there's about to be some bad behavior going on in this motherfucker. Yeah, this church is about to have an incident. You just told me to behave out loud. Said that to me. All right. The second that word came out, I turned whatever.
I honestly could go for 45 more minutes then. I'm in. They sold me. Whatever they're doing, I'm in.
Yeah, it'll never happen again. I had to check out what, I needed more context. And you would think the guy was like a serial cheater or something like that. No, he was caught talking with another girl.
He did what?
He did what? He did what?
talked to her?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look her in the eyes?
You ain't doing that shit in the Philippines, bud. That don't fly on this
Is that
island.
where they are?
Yeah, that don't fly. That don't fly in the island. Yeah. You want you
them
this good looking
Filipino
girl who looks
pimp
exactly like
hands.
every other girl in that room. You better straighten up and fly right. Can we go back to that, by the way? Is this I couldn't believe, and I'm not
What's
being,
the name of the show?
I'm not being racist.
Don't look at girls.
Everybody looks the same in this room. Maybe it's the
She
masks.
sounds like she's Dutch. Don't look at gals.
I'm just like not understanding what's going on, and I'm trying to fill in
Talk with your whole mouth,
the
bro.
boredness. But
mean, come on.
If I even turn my head, she doesn't like it, and that's
His mouth to nose ratio's off.
She do got some biddies on her
Just
though.
look at me. When you're not looking to the priest.
Look at me. Not like that. Look at the priest. Stop looking at the priest. Look at me. Why are you looking at the priest? Look at me. Don't look at me. Look at the priest.
Wait, that's a female statue up there. What are you looking at?
Hey. You're thinking the priest is
You looking
another
at
chick,
Mary?
aren't you, right now?
Are you ogling?
Mary getting insecure
Mary?
and jealous, even though we talked a lot.
Let me get some
about
comments. What is that
how
comment?
it won't
What
happen.
are the best comments up there? There's got to be.
Marry
There's got to
her,
be some
she's a
good comments
keeper.
on this. Marry her. She's a keeper.
Bro, the sweat stain speaks volumes.
Yeah, you dude is sweating.
My man, blink 3 times if you're being held hostage.
Forrest
I feel
Gump
bad
running
for her,
away.
to be honest. She
Yeah.
must have loved way too hard and got cheated on.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, probably. She's overcompensating.
You know what this guy's
She's
problem
insecure.
was, Candace, is he made way too much eye contact during the first time they made love.
Bro, look at him. He's a player.
player.
She knows what she got.
That dude's a tech gajillionaire. Yeah, I think anybody, if this reminds you of any part of your relationship, run.
Yeah.
Get to the dough. Don't think about it. Don't ask anybody's advice. Trust Canceled Weekly and get out of there. You know why? Because there are more fish in the sea. Or bonobos.
My tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's rocked up.
Touch my tra-la-la.
He's got a monkey boner. He's got a bononer.
He's got, yeah. I don't think it's actually a
That's
bonobo.
not bonobo. That's a monkey.
It's a monkey.
All right, I was right at first with a monkey boner.
Yeah, but we've talked so much about how human women can get turned on by bonobos.
Yeah, everything.
But did we know that monkeys can get turned on by male bodybuilders?
We did not. I did not.
We are breaking news here at Canceled Weekly. That dude is rocked up. And it's also confirmation that about 99% of bodybuilding enthusiasts are, in fact, homosexual. So there is that. Pro wrestling also, believe it or not, very large homosexual fan base.
It's very,
UFC in the same?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Guys are half-naked guys climbing on each other all the time.
Yeah.
Christian, is that what attracted you to UFC?
I'm not in the UFC.
You're
That's
into
hilarious.
MMA.
That is unintentionally hilarious.
I don't think that's not how he meant it, but that was very funny.
That's great.
That was funny. Fuck you?
You just
Your interpretation of what he said?
Ooh, you trust my tra-la-la. That was Gunther. Did you guys know that? Have you guys ever heard Gunther? Bonus clip. Pull up Gunther, tra-la-la.
Oh, we got a Moby clip coming up?
We got a bonus Moby clip. Ooh, You Touched My Tra-la-la by Gunther. The man's catalog is just fantastic.
Oh,
yeah, that's the one.
Oh, yeah.
My ding ding dong. Oh, you touch my tra-la-la.
My ding ding dong. There he is.
Of course he has a mustache like that.
Gunther.
He's the guy who does this, Salt Bay?
Yeah. It always
He owns those restaurants?
That's all, man. That's hilarious. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that pouty face he just gave?
Is this
serious? Serious. Deadly serious.
Oh, he's dead ass serious. You can tell? Yeah, this is not a joke.
Oh my god.
What's so funny is that
self-awareness, Candace.
Yeah.
Right?
This is from this has got to be. We were laughing at this in college. This has got to be like 20 years ago, and it's amazing to me that college kids dress like this now. So like,
yeah, made a comeback.
Yeah. That's enough of we get it. Gunther, he has albums like that.
Yeah, but is it like Weird Al kind
Nope.
of? Or
No.
it's
Nope.
not.
Nope. It's more like Tommy Wiseau from The Room. He
Like
really
dead ass
thought he was
serious.
doing something.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
No
Well,
one
no,
told
he's
him.
like internationally famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like.
I think it accidentally worked out for
It's
him.
like The Room. It's like how The Room had a movie made about how bad it was. Gunther gets thousands of dollars to show up because it's Gunther.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know how this world works. It's like who was the guy on American Idol that was so bad that he kept getting voted in?
She bangs. She bangs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was his name?
Something about a way, William Hung.
William Hung.
Yeah, and
William
he
Hung.
did that.
Wow, I don't know where I pulled that out of.
Yes, that's right. William Hung. Look at you.
Speaking of the spectrum.
Yes. Speaking of the spectrum, that's Mickey. This is Candace. I'm Gerard. This has been Canceled Weekly, and we will see you next week.